Question number 5, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Thank you.
Sorry, begging your pardon, number 6, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Finance, how much has his government borrowed since coming to office?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, net core Crown debt has risen $31.2 billion, or 15% of GDP, in the 3 years from 1st of July 2008 to the end of June 2011. This has helped pay for the rebuilding of Canterbury, maintain welfare and superannuation payments, and protect the most vulnerable New Zealanders through recession.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr Speaker, why then did his government implement a tax package last year which Budget 2010 says will result in $1 billion of extra borrowing in its first 4 years?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, the government's tax changes since it's been in office represent a net fiscal gain. We've focused on changing the tax system to rebalance this economy from excessive speculation on housing and excessive consumption and borrowing to a focus on savings, investment and exports. And there is some progress in that respect.
Mr Speaker,
the Honourable David
speaking
Cunliffe.
of tax system rebalancing, what was the net fiscal cost over 4 years of reducing the top marginal personal tax rate from 39 cents to 33 cents?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the government calculates the impact of the tax changes as a package, and that package, the most recent package in 2010, was broadly fiscally neutral. The decisions made in 2009 were actually fiscally positive. So the calculation around the top tax rate doesn't make any sense on its own, and I can't tell the member the numbers off the top of my head.
Mr Speaker,
point of order, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
By the Minister's own admission, he has not addressed the question, which was what was the fiscal cost of changing the top tax rate on a full
Well, had the member listened to the Minister's answer, he would have heard the last part of the answer said he didn't have those figures. David Bennett, supplementary question.
Supplementary question to the Minister of Finance. How does this government's borrowing compare to forecasts it received immediately after the 2008 election?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, this calculation is based on what would have happened if we had continued with the policies we inherited in the context of a New Zealand and global recession. The forecasts we had that if we had not changed policy, we would have had never-ending fiscal deficits and government debt rising to 60% of GDP, around twice the ceiling that the current government has set at 30%. So decisions in the last 3 budgets mean that by 2015 we will have cut the borrowing that would have been needed to support Labour's policies by $40 billion.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
To assist the Minister's memory, can he confirm that the gross cost of tax reductions in his last budget was $14 billion, of which 2/3 of the revenue reduction went to the top 1/3 of income earners?
The Honourable Bill English.
No, Mr Speaker, I can't confirm that, but I can confirm this, that top higher income taxpayers under National actually pay the amount of statutory tax which is levied. The system Labor left was full of holes and rorts and avoidance, and we have closed those up.
David Bennett.
Supplementary question. What steps has this government taken to get on top of debt and reduce the need for extra borrowing?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, we have probably the main focus has been on tidying up the extensive wasteful spending that was built into the system by the previous government. And depending how we calculate it, we've reprioritised around $9 billion of spending into more effective frontline services that are actually beneficial to the public.
Question number 7, Jonathan Young.